This is the video newsletter for buysellshort.com for Sunday, September 14th. We just came off a pretty hectic week in Wall Street, and this week it looks like it'll be pretty much the same. Talks ongoing about bailing out Lehman Brothers. Expect a decision on what the actual outcome is, probably, in the next 5 or 6 hours before the Asian markets open. Right now, the rumor is they're going to split all the bad assets of Lehman into a bad bank. And then Barclays from the UK is supposed to be rumored to pick up the good assets. There's also talk of Goldman Sachs and Bank of America as well. The issue just needs to be taken care of. Ideally, you would like to see Lehman Brothers get a buyout price over Friday's close. That would lead to a very nice rally tomorrow morning, hopefully. We also have AIG, which was slammed last week. They're having a conference call Monday morning, likely to announce financing. Then there's Washington Mutual. They came out and said they had lots of cash, but the shorts still battered that stock. So, very interesting times we are in right now. And we're going to call some stock plays and say what we're looking for in the market, but it really depends. Anything can happen tomorrow morning. So take everything with a grain of salt, and we'll play things by ear tomorrow. Here is the Dow 15-minute chart. We're still in that slight bullish falling wedge in the 15-minute chart. It's been consolidating over the last 2 weeks. Resistance is 11,450, support 11,150. So, nothing much we can say about that. Daily chart, huge intraday moves, very, very volatile, but these moves are happening on, within minutes, which volumes increasing, and the Dow is moving 100 points in a minute and dropping 50 points in 2 minutes. So great if you're scalping options and futures on this, but even the moves, they happen before you know they happen, and then by the time you buy, they're already reversing course. So for a market like this, very risky to be long, very risky to be short. Still in this slight upward bearish rising wedge. Again, like I said, we need to hold 11K, or we're going to see a retrace to the 10,500 area easily. RSI continues to hold the 50 mark. We're actually about to get a positive MACD crossover, and stochastics and on balance volume don't look that bad. But like I said, very, very difficult market. It's almost like throwing a dart at a dartboard and hoping your stock is one of the ones that moves up with the market versus down. Lately, actually, we've been seeing the market rally 100 points and 90% of stocks drop. So there's just a total disconnect in the markets right now. Hopefully, tomorrow we see some resolution with Lehman Brothers and AIG and Washington Mutual. We do have options expiration this upcoming Friday. So if there is any positive news on the financial sector tomorrow morning, they have the perfect excuse to rally the market for options. So going to be a very interesting day tomorrow, to say the least. SMH chart just continues to get battered. Oil's been down, financials are down. Usually expect techs to take the lead, but they've been hammered too, led by semiconductors. If we see a positive bias to the market tomorrow, the SMH should move at least to the 27 to $28 area this week for options. RSI is deeply oversold. We usually get about a 5 to 8% rally when we get oversold levels like this. Stochastics also in the basement. So again, they're just looking for an excuse to move. Stock plays, ELN. Elon actually forming a W on its chart, and this is a pretty bullish medium-term chart formation. Confirmation of this would be a move over the 20-day exponential. That is at 1345. A medium-term target would be a move to $18 to $20 with this kind of formation. RSI coming out of the basement. Stochastics is coming out of the basement up over 20. This has typically, over the last few years, been a buy signal on ELN. Options expiration, they want the stock at 1250 by next Friday. Where would I add? I would probably wait for a break above the 20-day exponential for a confirmation on this one, or we can look to scalp intraday moves depending on the market. CROX continues to tread water here. Breakout would be a move over the 20-day at 464. We're still looking for a $5 move here. Again, if we get a rally in the market based off Lehman, all of these stocks should go. We should see a lot of volume come into the market. Sirius just decimated over the last week, down, what is that, 40%. Possible bottom on the stock. Again, it's been a while since it touched its 20-day exponential. That's at a buck 26. Even the 8-day moving average always gets hit, so we should at least see a move back to $1.10 over the next week or so. FNSR, very nice earnings last week, but tried to run numerous times, but with the market the way it was, it kept getting slapped back. 130 is the break here, 138 is the target. Solar stocks. Actually, before we go into solar stocks, let's take a look at the dollar. Friday, we had a big drop off in the dollar. Oil kind of tried to rally, but really didn't. We had Ike hit this weekend. They're price gouging for gasoline all over the Midwest and East Coast, and it's starting to spread over to the West Coast. If we see the dollar continue to drop, they'll bounce oil. It's at that psychological $100 support. It did dip briefly before bouncing back, but dollars oversold. Could see some more downside to the 20-day at 78, and if so, they'll move back into oil maybe. And if they do, we're looking here at the solar stocks, which have been hit pretty hard over the last couple of weeks. Could see some upside here. We have SOLF. It could see a move to $14 to $15. First Solar has been treading water in about a $20 range. This is a stock that loves its 20-day exponential and likes to move big. So if we do see continued strength in these momentum stocks, you could see a move to 230 plus, 230 to 240 on First Solar. If you're interested in this kind of play, you'd be looking at options on it. I'm just throwing these plays out here so you guys have something to look at. And then the other player in the solar market, we've got ESLR, decimated over the last week or so. Possible bottom here. Target would be $7. First target would be $7 on the bounce, and then $8. Support would be the Friday lows, which were 580, I believe, if you are to even consider a scalp play on this one. Intel. If we see a rally in the SMH, Intel should be a participant in it. Now, the circles I have here, Intel possibly forming a head and shoulders on its chart, and if that's the case, we should see at least a rally to 21 to 2150 on Intel before they smack it down. It's oversold. It's down pretty big over the last week or so. So this is another one thrown out there for you guys to take a look at. Ford. Breakout would be 515 on this stock. Ford and GM have been moving pretty well over the last couple of days. Talk of getting a loan from the government. If you remember back in the recession of 2001 and 2, the car companies were actually the ones that led us out, GM and Ford, with their financing packages, and we really need these guys, and this would be a scalp play. It's up pretty big. I would wait for 515 break, and this one could see 575 to 6. GM also has a great looking chart set up as well, so these ones are looking pretty decent near term. Final stock to keep an eye on is RAD, Rite Aid. The reason I'm bringing this one up, a lot of consolidation attempts in its sector. Walgreens and CVS in buyout fights. Last time we saw that was back in July, and this stock had a 40% move. Friday we had some CVS buyout news. This one could see at least a move to the 20-day exponential. That is at $1.15. So you're looking at possibly 15% upside on this one near term. So keep an eye on this one Monday morning. That is it for the video newsletter tonight. Actually, just listening to Bloomberg TV, it looks like Barclays supposedly is pulled out of the Lehman deal. So everything may be up in air. And like I said, tomorrow's action is going to, you know, depend on what or tell us what's going to happen. So see you guys in the chat room tomorrow. It's likely to be a pretty interesting day. Goodbye.